a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole on discount.
Doesn't make sense, and I don't believe it.
Families of the people James Holmes killed stunned that he's getting life in prison.
I would have liked a different outcome for the victims. I've already apologized to them.
The district attorney apologizing tonight because he couldn't convince the jury to sentence Holmes to death.
My verdict would have been death because he has no value left in this world. He gets to hug his mom and dad. He gets to correspond. We don't get that. We've lost that.
A tough final day in court as victims' families try to understand why the jury let Holmes live. Good evening, I'm James Jarman.
And I'm Heather Skold. And first up tonight, convicted movie theater shooter James Holmes will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Today, the jury decided on a life sentence. They could not unanimously agree on the death penalty. Holmes was convicted last month in the 2012 shooting that left 12 people dead, more than 70 others injured, and many lives shattered.
And we have team coverage of today's decision. Rana Novini is live at the Aurora courthouse, Arapahoe County Courthouse, I should say, where the decision was reached just a few hours ago. Greg Miller is live at the theater where the horror unfolded. And we begin with Rana and that jury's decision.
Yeah, James and Heather, this trial has been going on for months, but the path to justice started 3 years ago. So this is a painful outcome for so many involved in the trial. The horrors of 3 years ago started a long journey to justice. 12 people murdered, 70 others injured. Had James Holmes' plan gone the way he wanted, it could have been even worse.
But for the heroes that showed up there when they showed up and the things they did, we'd have put a lot more than 12 pictures up on that screen.
Arapahoe County District Attorney George Brockler says he's disappointed and frustrated that the gunman won't be put to death for his crimes.
You can take failure for yourself far better than you can take it for others. And that's what I felt like it is. I failed for others.
Jurors had to be unanimous on a death sentence, and after less than 7 hours of deliberation, it just didn't happen.
But I can totally understand the frustration and the hurt and the pain that folks are going through today.
But outside the courthouse, tremendous support for the prosecuting team, and especially George Brockler.
I can tell you he has nothing to apologize for. He has nothing to apologize for.
And Brockler says that he wants to hear from the jurors to hear how they came to their decision, but he stresses that he has the utmost respect for them and hopes that no one will criticize them. Reporting live outside the Arapahoe County Courthouse, Rana Novini, KRDO News Channel 13.
Thanks so much, Rana. And today's sentencing brings a little closure to the families of the victims, even though it wasn't the outcome some of them wanted.
KRDO News Channel 13's Greg Miller continues our coverage live from the Century Theater. And Greg, some family members of those killed cannot believe today's outcome.
Yeah, you know, James and Heather, those victims have had to relive what happened inside this theater 3 years ago over and over during every step of this trial. They wanted to see that shooter die for what he did. They didn't get that resolution, but now they still have to move forward.
We always knew that this was a possibility.
The shooter's life sentence does not bring the closure many had hoped for.
But the jury chose another way, and we have to accept that.
But it does end a grueling experience.
Are in wheelchairs, who will never have their full life back. We've lost loved ones. No, we didn't lose loved ones. Our loved ones were ripped from us.
Out of all the families here, no one ever mentioned the shooter's name, not once.
I really am sick and tired of seeing a picture with him with the orange hair plastered all over everywhere.
The grief they share has become a source of strength.
We could not have gotten through any of this without the kind words, the love and support of everybody, and not just our friends, and not now our friends, and our family standing here together.
For them and so many others, it's about the victims and the first responders.
Each and every one of them did their job to the highest level.
What we have to remember is why we're here, which is our loved ones. Our loved ones are gone. We will never get to hug them again. I will never get to I will never get to say I love you, AJ.
And families now looking for peace, 3 years in the making.
Those families having a lot of respect, though, for what the jury decided. We have learned tonight that one of the jurors was against the death penalty throughout the deliberations. 2 others were swaying between for or against James Holmes getting the death penalty. And we're also learning tonight, well, we're learning more information about those as well that we'll be bringing to you throughout the weekend. Reporting live tonight, Greg Miller, KRDO News Channel 13.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Reports coming in tonight that it was one juror who held things up there. Well, a retired Colorado judge says the judge in the Holmes case did an excellent job.
I think as a judge, you feel a sense of relief that this trial is over. You sat there for basically what's going on 7 months, dealing with it. You've dealt with hundreds of motions, which are rightfully filed. And in the meantime, you've had other judges who've been covering your docket.
Retired Pueblo Judge Victor Reyes says most people don't realize the trauma a judge feels during a trial like this, but he or she can't show it. He also says this jury's verdict will raise a lot of questions about the death penalty because the message sent to prosecutors from this is to seek plea deals when mental health is an issue. And you can see comprehensive coverage of the James Holmes trial over at our website, krdo.com.